we will have Mihai PRECUP from, which is președinte al Autorității de Monitorizare a Performanței Întreprinderilor publice. Ar fi o chestie foarte complicată să o spun în engleză, dar el va transmite un mesaj publicului de aici. Mihai PRECUP, îl invit pe scenă în aplauzele voastre. Mulțumesc mult!
This is more for singers. Good evening, good afternoon. Yes, indeed, myself, I have to think twice how to call it in English. Is the authority in charge of monitoring the state-owned enterprises, particularly in corporate governance, as well as in terms of financial and non-financial performance of the state-owned enterprises. It's a new authority that we set up. Last week I was appointed. So everything is very much new. I was before and I was invited, and thank you very much, Laura, for everything you have done here. I was invited as State Secretary in the Chancellery of Prime Minister, but as I said, my mandate ended last week. So what we have done in the government in my previous, let's say, take it with the, I will talk to you in, I will have two hats if you want. One, my previous job in the government, and second, as a board member of the European Investment Bank. What we have done last year, and I'm very happy to see the interest around the venture capital interest here, we have put forward 400 million euros for investments in the private equity industry. I think it's a game changer for Romania. Never before so much amount was allocated for the industry. And we are talking about venture capital and as well as later stage, which is private equity. The main challenge for the private equity investors will be to raise additional funding. So basically what the government has done, has set aside this amount, which is managed by the European Investment Fund, targeting the private equity funds and venture capital funds in Romania. But the venture capital funds has to raise additional funds. So for instance, if they get 20 million from the government, they have to raise additional 20 million, which is a lot, I would say, for the Romanian industry. We should ask, do we have enough high net worth individuals? Do we have so much appetite from the pension funds? Because at the end of the day, you have to raise in the next 3-4 years additional 400 million for the industry in Romania. So it's quite a challenge. Another challenge is to find good companies to invest. And I'm looking forward for the panel to see what kind of candidates are coming forward with their business plan and their ideas. It's very important for Romania because it's also your job as VC actors, if you want, to identify the next champions. It's the idea also of the funding, of the fund of funds that we put together, but it's also your job to identify the next unicorn or big companies who could play an important role for Romanian economy. As you very well know, we cannot talk about a sustainable economy if we don't invest in innovation and in startups. I think that European Union now, if you ask me, is focused very much on green, on digital, but we should think more also about industry and about startups in the industry who could play an important role. As well as, if I will say something with the head of my former job, in the National Resilience Plan, there are 30 million euros allocated for the IPOs. So it's a big help also for the stock market in Bucharest, but as well as for the companies, because from these funds, the companies could reimburse their expenses on their way of the IPO. So all the illegal expenses for the new shares which could be listed are reimbursed from the National Resilience Plan. It's an important amount. I think it's very difficult even to spend it, to have so much companies to go on the IPO. in the National Resilience Plan, it's written that only the new shares are eligible. I really believe that we should also revise this and think also about the bonds and different instruments in order to be able to attract all these funds and to help the companies in their way to an IPO. Last year we have also looked to the company like if you want like the whole balance sheet of the company. I was saying about the equity, and we have big challenge in terms of equity at the national level. Probably you know very well there are many companies with negative equity. You have 268,000 companies out of 870 companies which have negative equity. In total, we talk about almost 30 billion euros missing from the equity at the national level. So I said that we were looking to the whole balance sheet of a company. In terms of guarantees, we have set aside 6 billion lei in terms of guarantees, which are mainly managed by the guarantee funds owned by the state. All this in order to find solutions in order to support the real economy. But I really believe that this should not come only from the government side. You as venture actors, innovators, startups, you should also, if you ask me, come with ideas towards us in order to improve our financial instruments, to identify new financial instruments which will bring additional flexibility to the companies. Because I really believe that today in Romania, the main challenge is not the funding. The main challenge is the technical expertise, the financial instruments, and I really believe that only each of you, if we work together, we could identify the best solutions for the startups. Thank you very much.